Alright, welcome back to another stream. We are live once again. We have a moderate risk outline for today. We are looking at a tornado warning right now over the Springfield, Missouri area, which we have a radar confirmed tornado, which is confirmed, well, of course, confirmed by radar, not by weather spotters. I've been trying to see where this area rotation is at, or at least specifically where the tornado is at. And if I had to guess, it's gonna be right in here. That is where we have our greens and reds at. But normally, if we're right near the radar site, it'd be a little bit more obvious. But although I'm thinking actually up here would probably be where our tornado would be, but we don't have at least a very noticeable debris signature right now. We also have for today a moderate risk in place, which is a wind-driven moderate risk. We have a PDS severe thunderstorm watch out there right now, and it's a 45% with a SIG 2, so 85 mile. They hit the mental scale discussion. They have 85 to 100 mile per hour winds, with the wind gusts being possible, and then we also do have a hail threat out there as well, which we've had actually a couple of them out there in Montana and all that are very large hailstones. Specifically in Montana, actually. We've had some that are about 3 inches in diameter. We got a couple of them, I think, are actually one report that was 4 inches, which was, I'm just like, holy, that's some big size hail, man. Also, welcome, Party Cheese. We are looking at another day that could be, or is expected to be significant, I should say. So I imagine this is probably, yeah. Locations impacted include Springfield Battlefield, located over southwestern Springfield. So this is set directly, or at least where this was confirmed, to be southwest of Springfield, Missouri here. Sure, I got everything going here. Go back a little bit. Let me actually go over to weather-wise while I'm at it too, because that'll show. Because the thing that Weatherfront doesn't do yet, but weather-wise does, is it does show like GR2 analysis when the warning, specifically where when the warning was issued, and well, I mean, it was issued 5 minutes ago, so it wasn't super long ago. Okay, yeah, that is where it would be right here. So looking at a little bit more clear picture here, I would say on weather-wise. But how's everyone doing this evening? It is evening. I'm like, is it afternoon still or is it evening? It might be early evening actually. Now that I'm looking at it with the time it is right now, which is 6:54 p.m. Another thing about this today's moderate as well. This is the first moderate that was strictly just wind as well, which we did have a moderate earlier this year that was moderate, or a wind-driven moderate earlier this year, but there was also actually a couple of moderates this year that were for hail, but this one is specifically just wind for today. And we'll take a look at the meso analysis in a few moments. I do feel like I'm kind of like taking a little bit slower approach of what I'm saying, but it has been a long weekend for me, to be honest. this working? Okay. One thing I do need to get up because I mean I haven't looked at well, I haven't had my laptop up in a while. I have a full bottle. Well, it's not full bottle of drinking out of it, but it is at least mostly full bottle of water there for the most part. This tornado warning, by the way, is going for another 18 minutes. Still has the observe tag it, so continue to stay safe places if you're in Springfield. Well, okay, I swear I opened up another tab and it was supposed to. I was supposed to open up a new tab and then go to what I was trying to get to, which is YouTube, but it didn't do that. Great, great job, web browser or keyboard. I don't know. Is there a terminal radar around here? I don't think there is. No, there's no terminal radar. Because the thing is, if we had a terminal radar around here, we would be able to see lower level rotation and all that, which we don't have that. So that's not going to be helpful in this situation. Or, well, we don't have one in this area to help with the situation we're looking at right now in Springfield here. But you can definitely see a notch right here. This would be our tornado. Well, this would be our supercell that's producing a tornado right now. And, oh, wait, did they extend it? They might have extended it. Because there was, I forgot how much time there was left on it. Let me see. I need to pull up the mesoanalysis that came out. Oh, mesoanalysis that came out. The, mesoscale discussion that came out a little bit ago. So I'll go over to that. So here is because this is our surface front right here. And it goes all the way down here. And once some of these storms cross over that front, we should start seeing, I mean, not that we're already seeing storms intensify up here already. And we're already getting wind reports of 70 in some of these places here. Or at least up to 70. So we're starting to see that damaging wind threat to come together here up in, in the Dakotas and Montana. Mainly the Dakotas, though. I mean, the moderate technically does go into Montana, but I think most of our wind reports are probably going to be on the Dakota side of things rather than the Montana side of things. Just considering, let me just show that mesoscale discussion again, where that front's at. So just considering where our front sits at, I would expect a lot of our wind reports to come out on the east side of the front here. And also another thing too is we have dew point spreads that are 20 something degrees. Let me actually look at observations on here. Wonder if I don't know if Weatherfront has the ability to do dew point on top of temperatures. Maybe not. Let me it should actually be able to turn on METARs on here. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, 84 over 57. That is a gap in the temperature dew point spread. So that's gonna be allowing for basically the maintenance of our downdraft so we can get that damaging wind threat for today. Obviously, we gotta have, organized storms and all that, which we have the storms out there right now that are organizing. And we have a severe dust warning down here in South Dakota, which is warned for same mile per hour winds and 3-inch size hail. So this is our first PDS severe thunderstorm warning of the day, which is on the hail side of things rather than the damaging wind side of things. Although I say damaging wind side of things, this does have the damaging wind side of things right now. Considering we just had a wind report a little bit ago, about 20 minutes ago, which was let me look at it, 70-mile-per-hour wind report there. Which, another thing is with both of the Dakotas, is there's a lot of mesonet stations between North and South Dakota, so we should, once we start seeing a little bit more of an MCS or mesoscale convective system, and once, basically what's called a cold pool, so cold air coming out from downdrafts, and you get more storms initiating. And, well, that'll be leading to potentially our derecho for today. Because there is a potential for derecho. Also, they have dropped that, confirmed tag on the tornado warning down here in Missouri. It's crazy how inactive May was for most of it. Other than some mesoscale events, May was definitely pretty inactive for the most part. Like, I literally went to go look back at my streams. I'm like, wow, I streamed more times in the month of April than I did in the month of May. It's something, because I was expecting, I knew, with looking at the overall pattern from last month, it was going to be not super active, but I guess I was expecting to still be active, but live a bunch of times during last month. But of course, that not that I wasn't live a bunch of times last month, but it ended up not being the case. That was like maybe not every day, but it was quite active in terms of streams, I guess. We got a funnel cloud report. Elephant trunk funnel halfway to the ground, 4 miles to my southwest. That's by Eric Fox. So we do have so it looks like there's some funnel cloud action going on in some of these storms up here in North Dakota, which there is a 2% tornado risk up here in the Dakotas. And I don't think it ever got anything higher than that 2%. So got 11 minutes on that tornado warning down here in Missouri. There's also just a little bit of an interesting note, I guess you could say. I don't know. There is also a severe weather outbreak going on up in Canada, as you can kind of see too. Canada has county-size warnings up there going on right now. Like, there's a tornado warning up here. And then you got, I'm sorry, is this a severe thunderstorm warning split between a box and a bigger box? What? It is. That's interesting to see. Oh yeah, and one thing about Canadian radars is they have a very smooth out velocity, even reflectivity too. So it's not the greatest quality with trying to find rotation. I think the same. I think it's for all. I think it's the same for all products. I think. Maybe not CC, but definitely velocity and reflectivity up here. There are actually a bunch of storm chasers from down here in the U.S. up there right now. So you got, I forget who's up here anyways in terms of storm chasers. So you got Tornado Pagey, you got Edgar O'Neill, Nick Gorman, you got Ryan Scholl, you got Jacob McMillan. I thought Brandon Kopic was up there too. Let me take a look. Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of, well, you got 3 that are alive right now. Actually 4, but 3 of them I recognize. You got Adam Lucio, you got Freddie McKinney, and then you got Brian Coppock down there. So you got quite a few U.S. I almost said stormtroopers. Storm chasers. Apparently Star Wars is on the mind, apparently. Okay, cool. This footrest is squeaking. Do I need to put WD-40 on this thing or what, man? Ugh. Oh. Well, a bunch of stuff just dropped off the table over here. That's great. That's real great. I still got, well, right now I still got 53 minutes on a severe induction warning. Let me switch back over to National Service Alerts real quick. It also does show, well, of course, they gotta show the warnings and stuff up in Canada. I think there should be a way. I thought there was a way to disable that if there's not. That way I can focus the warnings and all that to where we're looking at for today's threat. We do have a new tornado warning down here, actually. Which there was rotation. Well, it was actually a wall cloud report, actually. There's rotation, but a wall cloud report, to be specific. Ooh, okay. Latest scan may actually have a debris signature there. I mean, it's consistent with the velocity couplet, so we'll see what the next um the next scan comes in a second here, and then we'll see from that. Because then we'll get a better idea if there is actually a tornado on the ground or not. This is probably one of the more clearer debris signatures I've seen today. Because the one I know we had a brief tornado up here over near Springfield, but I couldn't see anything in terms of actual CC because it's, I mean, probably the streets for in a way that probably didn't help a lot, but. And we are back to having an observed tornado. So we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground now. So that is indeed a confirmed tornado. So it's going to be heading northeast towards US Highway 65. Although this hasn't updated in 4 minutes. So this is probably actually right there at this point, probably. Which, I mean, I guess I'm not super surprised considering the, I guess you could say the greater tornado threat, at least in terms of actual, like, percentage is down here, which was what was expected down here. I mean, there's, once again, there's the tornado threat up here in the Dakotas, but the main tornado threat was expected to be down here. And there's actually, oh wow, there's actually, tornado report from earlier actually here. 7:08 p.m. Confirmed tornado on the ground in Springfield, approximately, it's a quarter mile wide. So it's a smaller tornado. I mean, that's not, I mean, it's not the biggest tornado ever, obviously, but it's. I imagine it's probably like one of those skinnier tornadoes, probably. All right, radar has now updated in now 5 minutes, so we're still waiting for next scan to come in here. hearing weatherwise ding. Probably actually, because now that I have, because for everything else I use, because I have basically the same strategy as my setup at my dorm, where I use Firefox for everything else, and then for radar I use Brave. All right, so latest scan did just come in. It seems like we still have at least a slight debris signature cell in there. Although velocity doesn't look once again super impressive. I mean, even with not super impressive velocities, you can still have a tornado on the ground. But it also could be the case where we have debris fallout too. Another thing, and I imagine this area has a ton of trees too, because trees show up very well on CC when they're being picked up. Or at least with like leaves and sticks and all that kind of stuff. All right, they did extend the tornado warning up here, that which now includes Stratford and Fairgrove and Missouri. Move my keyboard to the side here. So they have one. Well, they have how many tornado warnings do they have? 3 tornado warnings. Technically, well, it shows 4, but the fourth one is in Canada. Really, focusing on the ones down here in the U.S. since that's once again where we're gonna be really focusing for our severe weather threat for today. Update my Google site while I'm at it. All right, looking at latest scan for CC, nothing on the ground at this point. So we had a brief tornado, although it does look like we have still. I mean, we still have rotation in there. Oh, it's not. Once again, it's not super tight couplet compared to what it was at earlier around the scan here when it was over near Spokane. Still, I keep an eye on this just in case it does end up tying up again and producing. Just keep an eye on this one because this is the one. The rotation on this one looks much more impressive than the one we had down here, which was a little bit more broad. I do wonder if that area rotation. Actually, looking at the where we had a rotation, does that line up at all? It does, yeah. That would be it. That where we had that area rotation. So looking back at where we had that tornado from earlier, that would be where we'd be at. Because it was southwest of Springfield where it was at. With at least with the tornado from earlier, not the current. Well, the one that was just underground a few scans ago, and more like 2 scans, I would say actually, but or about 2 scans or so. 8.6 magnitude. Wow. Okay, one said okay. Seeing one that says 8 and another that says 8.6, but either way, there was a magnitude of about 8 with an earthquake over in the Philippines. I'll see what they do with this tornado warning in a few moments here. Because I mean they still have this observed, and as far as I know, we haven't had anything in terms of tornado in the last couple of scans or so. So they might let that expire out, is my guess. Or if they do, they'll condense it and put it as radar indicated. We'll see, though. There's probably a good reason why they. I mean, there's a good reason why that they extended the tornado watch. Considering we literally just had 2 brief tornadoes. All right, let's go back up here while we're at it. Check on our wind threat up here. We had. Did I look at this one here? Oh no, this is a new one here. Ball cloud report. And we have a 62 mile per hour wind. That was earlier though. We do have a severe dust warning here. 6 mile per hour winds, 2-inch size hail, tornado pause tag on it. Because, I mean, a lot of times when you have like linear modes, even like, I mean, not all the time, but sometimes you get the cases where they'll be able to have a tornado threat on them. Because with linear lines of storms, you can get brief spin ups. Which this one isn't a super organized linear line of storms quite yet, but probably within, I would say, the next hour or two, we'll probably start seeing more organization. Something updated. I sorry, I haven't because I'm so used to well, because I haven't used Weatherwise in a hot minute. I mean, I used to the other stream, but because I've been having because I have this piece, well, my PC here that's able to actually run Radar Omega and internet that'll actually run it. Well, not that my laptop can't run it, but it's the internet in my dorm doesn't want to work at all with Radar Omega. I don't know why. It is a mystery. Alright, they have dropped the confirmed tag on that tornado warning, so we no longer have a confirmed tornado. Oh, go back. We'll take a. Oh, what that was. Okay. Yeah, this is probably gonna get extended. I wouldn't imagine it's probably gonna get extended with its tornado warning soon here. Considering that is still a decent area rotation. probably hearing every single key on that keyboard. Although I mean, it's like keyboard ASMR. Probably one of the I don't know what the I mean, because you get with keyboards, you have different switches. There's some that are more silent than others. These are, I mean, they're pretty. I mean, there's ones that are more silent than ones I have, but the ones I have are relatively silent, or they're not super click. Because I used to have a clicky key, like clickly. Yeah, I can't speak. Oh, clicky keyboard, which was blue switches, cherry blue switches, which are really, I mean, they're really clicky. You probably hear them halfway across the world. They're so loud. Okay, now we're at 7, so we're 30 minutes behind on scans right now. So it's probably, I imagine we're probably gonna get updates on scans probably every 4 or 5 minutes. Probably, I would imagine. Oh, there was actually someone. I mean, I would obviously there's gonna be storm chasers across the country, but there was someone that was down in a on this, or at least saw a picture of the lowering of the base, or kind of barely see it actually, but it is there. Let me switch back to this. All right, so oh wow, we actually got a couple. Actually got a couple more thorny wings up here in Canada here. Too bad that the velocity on radar isn't super great to look at. Actually, might have something here and then probably something here. That's at least for what I can make out from what I'm looking at with that. Because just trying to make best of the low qualityness of the color table. interesting little area here. That RFD is definitely starting to wrap around here. And one thing that RFDs or rear flank downdrafts can do, they can cut off their own, they can cut off rotation on a storm. Which, I mean, right now that's what this is looking like right now. But also another thing RFDs can do is that they can ramp up, and then produce a tornado too. So there's that. We're starting to see a lot more severe thunderstorm warnings, and I mean, they're both for wind and hail, which I mean that is the two main threats for at least up here in the severe thunderstorm watch. Up here, PDS severe thunderstorm watch to be specific. Got terms notifications here. Okay, so the other tornado warning got condensed too, with the one over here near Fairgrove. Radar updated 4 minutes ago, so we're waiting for the next update to come in. And then we'll take a look at what that rotation looks like afterwards. So far, haven't had, I mean, most of our wind reports have been down here so far. We haven't seen too much in terms of wind reports up here, which that will probably change soon. Actually, let me take a look at, yeah, a lot of it so far has been mainly hail. Not a ton of wind reports yet. Let me, why not? Let me get up my laptop on that. Question is, does this have battery? It does. My laptop does indeed have battery. How much battery though? Actually, does this? I mean, it's on, but it's not actually. I don't even think. Actually, maybe this doesn't have battery. Oh no, it's turning on. It's just taking a minute. Yeah, it's got 54%. My laptop is 54%, but that's plenty. But I've still got plugged in because. I need to move my notebook from underneath my laptop. So for one, it doesn't heat up the not heat up the laptop. It doesn't heat up the notebook, but also so it doesn't rock back and forth like this. Because that's because on an uneven surface. Question is, how long is it gonna take to load up sites? Because it's been a hot minute since I loaded up my laptop for something. We got a severe thunderstorm warning all the way down here in Nebraska. Are they even a? What are they? Oh, they are in a severe risk down here. It's a marginal. And that is also for wind down here. How far does okay the hail and wind does reach down here. I'm like, how far does the threat stem down from? Because this was initially warned for 60, but now it's warned for 7 mile per hour winds down here. Observed as well, looks like. When was, I'm kind of curious. Reported at Alliance Regional Airport with that 7 mile per hour wind report. That'll probably show up at some point on here. Because I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit for, it's not always instantaneous with some reports, but they'll eventually be on here at some point. It's just a matter of when, I guess. I need to put the most, because I usually have this top monitor for like satellite, but what I'm gonna do instead is, if this decides to load things, that is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up here. Taking a minute because my laptop's going off Wi-Fi and not Ethernet like my PC. So it takes a moment. All right, now it's loaded up here, so we can switch over to modes. Why is it just not wanting to switch over? I clicked a left click, it's not switching. Can this site not be broken? Maybe that'd be great. Or is the regional not have mosaic radar? Oh no. Okay, this thing being a pain for no reason. Great. No, yeah, it's literally just not wanting to work for no reason. Great. Yeah, that's real helpful. That's real helpful. College you do page satellite and radar set. That's real helpful. I got it to work anyways. Cool. All right, that's working now. All right, we have another wind report up here. 58 mile per hour wind report there. I'm kind of curious. Does the because nothing has gone through yet, so I don't know if the audio works on this monitor. Nice. Okay. Yep. The audio is indeed on for this top monitor. All right. There's the wind report from the airport there in Alliance, or regional airport, I should say specifically. All right, let's take a quick look at our area that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, that RFD definitely cut off whatever rotation was there. Although, whatever's trying to do something here now, but we're having a ton of storm mergers into this area, so that's probably got to be affecting at least that area where there's rotation. And there's now, I think, another area that's rotating here, because that seems to be kind of a hook. You can kind of see a hook here. But we'll keep an eye on that, just in case that does end up. Because, we already had a couple brief tornadoes already, but. And that tornado is going to be for Fremont Hills, Ozark, and Sparta in Missouri. Yeah, so looking at mosaic radar on College 2 page satellite and radar site, and yeah, it's still kind of like in different clusters, but eventually that all congeal together. Once again, I'll probably, well, I know I said an hour earlier, but I'll probably take another half hour or so for all that to just like fully organized into a MCS. Which I wouldn't be surprised if we had some portions that are MCS like or mesoscale convective system like already. And we actually have some straight line winds going on here actually with this straight line wind. So it's gonna be a little bit gusty here. And these are all warned for well, some are for hail and some are for for wind mainly. some are for well, for there's ones that are for both, but some are mainly for one side of the threat. So we got the hail threats on them more than others for the most part. Which are once again, here's our hail threat, which is a Sig 1, so large hail 2+ inches in diameter. And well, so far we haven't really seen we haven't seen too many wind reports in our 45 yet. We think we've had a couple so far, but that once again that'll probably change very soon at some point here. I kind of wish radar coverage was a little bit better in this area, but I don't know what the I don't know what the logistics would look like for putting another radar in this area, considering the elevation and whatnot. And then I don't know what the because I don't know if there's because I know there's states that do have what what's the word I'm not word I'm looking for, the like tribe like areas for like tribal areas. I don't know what the just in general I don't know what the logistics would look like for that. There's actually a tornado warning all the way out here. Okay, this one is definitely like clear. Was clear, so it'll be that area right here. It, definitely gotta be drinking some water because I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say I've been talking for like 47 minutes straight, but I've been talking for a little while, which to that that'll make your mouth and all that dry after a little bit. Oh, let me go look at the official site here for the National Service because I want to see what the Tornado Watch 284 previously effect till 7 p.m. this evening is now effect till 9 p.m. The heating for the following areas. So basically the same kind of I think it's still the same areas about except for a couple counties in Arkansas. So still relatively the same areas that were in the previous tornado warning are now still ongoing in the current tornado warning, tornado watch. Hello. Interesting. Is this muted or something with this site? No, it's not muted. So that's why I didn't turn on the sounds. I was like, why am I not hearing anything from the site that I look at for? Well, I look at for warnings that were recently issued, but also help out with well, actual alerts. And that did not that did not go through as a link. Man, all right, let me try. Well, I'm gonna re-sign it, but there we go. I just need to put the HTTPS. Jesus. All right. So that's one site. I'll keep well, if I have, of course, my laptop up and all that, and I remember to send it out to. I'll send it almost every stream, so you guys can have a useful tool to use if you guys want to track. I mean, other than radar apps, but if you guys want to have another useful little tool for alerts and stuff. So, well, this is from earlier. After a giant earthquake this is from James Peters tweeting this out. After our giant earthquake in the Philippines, we do have a tsunami information statement out for the West Coast, including British Columbia and Alaska. So there's some tsunami information. Let's see, evaluation earthquakes of this size are known to generate tsunamis potentially dangerous coast outside the source region. More information will be issued if it becomes available. This earthquake has potential to generate destructive tsunami in the source region. I said, I forget. It wasn't it last year or something that where we had our earthquake and there was like tsunami warnings and all that and like just along the coast here. One of the main areas that was talked about, at least I mean at least in terms of the U.S. side of things, at least I think it was mainly the state, which was Hawaii, because there was an earthquake that if I remember correctly, at least the earthquake that happened over here in I think it was either Japan or Russia. Been a hot minute since I've thought about that specific event. Also, we have our next day one outlook coming out in about 17 minutes. All right, we have. I think I've read that earlier. Trying to see what the most recent report is, because we do have a severe torrential warning here for same mile per hour winds. It's going for an hour and 2 minutes. They did cancel out the tornado warning down here, but they still are continuing. Actually, no. This one is expired. I was about to say they're still continuing with this one, but this one is to expire out with the next minute here. So that'll be gone in soon. When soon, and by soon, next minute. Next minute. That is another random meme that I saw. It was I don't know if it was a Vine. I know it was. I know it's on YouTube. I don't know if it originally from somewhere, but there's a dude from Australia, uh, skateboarding, and he just goes. It's like one of those like things where someone says something and then it becomes a meme, and then obviously it lasts. Like any meme ever, it goes for a certain amount of time and then it'll lose its steam. But we have a couple more wind reports. 7:31. We got another. Wait, what does that say? A lot. Okay, so wind reports. 10 mile per hour winds. Details. A lot of hail covered the ground. Amazing detail. They're like, There's yeah, here's the wind report. Oh yeah, by the way, there was a lot of hail that covered the area. All right, we no longer have any tornado warnings, so I can just take that off now. And then I can just change the title to Northern Plains wind threats, severe weather out, and severe weather outbreak. I think that's what I probably should just start doing with my titles is leave out the wind, hail, where I put in parentheses with wind, hail, tornado, and all that. Because that does take up a lot of characters in my title. And the Storm Prediction Center site is breaking. Okay. Well, unless I've got the... Might have to refresh it. Because my internet's completely fine. I guess that many people are trying to access the Storm Prediction Center site at once, I guess. Either that or it's one of those cases where the Storm Prediction Center site is legitimately just being that slow for the day, I guess. I don't know. Because even like when I got home earlier this afternoon, I was like, why is the Storm Prediction Center site being so slow? And yeah. I don't know. Oh my god! By the way, there's no tsunami threat within Grand Forks, even away from earthquake in the Philippines. I forgot that was like legitimately a thing that happened last year, as well, where people in like North Dakota were asking if there was like, I'm guessing it was a joke, but people are asking if they were like safe from a tsunami in North Dakota or something like that. Also, we do have a new tornado warning. I don't know why it's not showing up on here. I need to probably refresh. Hold on one second. Nah, even refreshing didn't help. Okay, great. Alright, USGS. I need to look at the USGS thing for the earthquake information. 7.8 magnitude. There we go. Now it should be showing up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we now have a tornado warning again in Missouri. So here's your tornado warning, and that is it's a broad area rotation over near Sparta. In Missouri. One thing I will say about Weatherfront is it feels very much like Radar Scope, even though I'd be honest, I've never used Radar Scope, but it does have the aspect. But I mean, that's mainly because I don't exactly have all the money in the world to spend on every single paid app for Radar. But I will say Radar Scope is, from what I've seen, it's definitely nice to have when it comes to just like if you straight up just need radar. Also, that is a tight couplet near Sparta within the last scan here. So I would not be surprised. I mean, okay. As I was just saying, I think we now have a tornado on the ground now over near Sparta. So we now have definitely that's definitely a tornado that's not on the ground here as of the last scan that just came in. Tight couplet, debris signature, and ball. There's your reflectivity, which all these are up to date. We're just waiting for the next scan to come in here, which should probably be coming in the next 3 minutes or so, probably. Once that scan comes in, then well, I mean, just looking at velocity and CC, it's pretty easy to confirm it right now, but let's wait for the next scan to come in so we can basically do a double check, I guess you could say. Also, there was a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued up in South Dakota, and that's for 6 mile per hour winds and ping pong sized hail. That was interesting. Okay, they have gone ahead and made that now observed tagged tornado. So we now have another tornado on the ground as of the current scan that we're looking at right now. That's gonna be near Sparta, making its way northeast. Which this is a scan from 750, so it's more than likely over here at this point when the next scan comes in here. Which should be in the next minute or so. Also, soon as well, our next day one outlook should be out. Which I haven't seen anything on. I haven't seen anything on IEM so far, so. But should be coming soon. Probably with the next. Well, it's the 8 o'clock update, but it'll probably be coming within the next 6 minutes. But it'll probably be out. We'll see if it's before 8 o'clock or exactly at 8 o'clock, but. Just a waiting game at this point, with both waiting for the next radar scan here, and then also waiting for the next day one outlook. Which when the next day one outlook comes out, it's more than likely going to be a okay. So next CC scan just came in here, and yeah, we still have a debris signature here. So last scan it was here, and then the latest scan is now up here. And looking at velocities too, that's still a tight couplet there, so that's still making its way northeast. If depending on how long this ends up being on the ground for, this will probably make its projection towards Fordland there, but whether or not it actually makes it there or not is gonna be it's a bigger question, but this is not exactly an environment for long track tornadoes. Alright, there's another severe thunderstorm warning that's over in North Dakota. That's for ping pong sized hail and 6 mile per hour wind gusts. Also, that's a nice thing. I've I've tried Radar Omega's Storm Track tool. I've tried Weatherwise's Storm Track tool, and then I've been trying out Weatherfront's. I think when it comes to the Storm Track tool, Weatherfront has definitely the best one, or at least one that I like using, and then Weatherfront second, and Radar Omega's one is kind of eh. I mean, it works, but it's not as smooth as I would like it to be. Nose is it's one of those things where hold on, I need a sinuses for sure. Wait, I have it bookmarked in my miscellaneous folder. Storm guy, because someone made a. So you guys know Wordle, if you haven't heard of Wordle, it's well, basically like a crossword type of thing, but instead of words, it's storms instead, where you have to guess like the storm track and all that, and it's actually quite interesting. So it kind of and also kind of fun guessing where things are at. And day one, where I mean if you're I mean for weather nerds, they probably nail it down pretty quickly, considering the ones that are on a day one, considering they're all very very historic tornadoes have happened in. Well, there was a couple that are not 2011, but there's ones that are 2011. All right, latest CC has come in. Not as not as big of a CC. It's much smaller. It's not as small as what the CC was earlier, and not as deep of blues. But we still do have a tornado that's still on the ground as well. So continue to stay safe places if you're in this tornado warning. We're trying to tab back in here and get out of the drawing tool here. Also, let me go to dual view here because that's another thing we take a look at. Ah, there we go. What is in my eye? All right, so hold on. I need to because this is on the wrong thing here. So we can take a look at dual view of this tornado that is still on the ground now. Here's the first scan where we had that tornado, and then second scan and third. Let's see here. And this just went out for a tornado warning again. This is gonna be north of this tornado warning here. So yeah, there we go. There's your other tornado warning, and that's be for Marshfield and Niangua in Missouri. So we have two tornado warnings again in Missouri. Let me go back to a single view here. I do want to check back up on our wind threat up here, see what we're doing, what's going on up here. Most of our wind reports still have been down here. Not a ton up here yet. New severe thunderstorm warning. That is gotta be in South Dakota as well. This be for 7 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. Or is that? Yeah, that is. Okay, that is. Yeah, that is in. Hasn't showed up on here yet, but there is actually no. Wait, that's for all the way up here. This is this severe dust warning here for 6 mile per hour wind. No. Why is this? Okay, this one looks so much similar to what I'm looking at here. And there's a severe dust warning back here over near Recluse in that Wyoming there. That's for 7 mile per hour winds. We still got a bunch of storms on the backside here that are still going. Some of these are, I mean, some of them are still, I mean, they're kind of dying down, but some that are chugging along. All right, let me check back up on our cell here. See, we haven't had any updates on our CC. Nothing, I mean, it might be a little bit of something on CC. They still do have a velocity couplet there, so may still have something still trying to produce in there. And I imagine this is probably, yeah, radar confirmed. All right, the next day one outlook is, I mean, it just came out, so it's not going to update right away. Although the partner's outlook has got to update real quick. That's the one thing I do like about the partner's outlook page. I mean, sometimes the main page will update faster than the partner's outlook page, but the Storm Prediction Center partners outlooks website, you can I mean, there's a bunch of options you can click on. So you got national, the CWA for a specific office. You got state, FEMA, CWSU, which is basically your air traffic control area. And then you get your national service region. Which let me take a look here. Maybe once again, okay, yeah, this is still the last scan that came in about 3 minutes ago. I was like, wait a minute, is this a newer scan? Oh, technically it's a newer scan, but if we got a new scan within the last like minute, but that's not the case. All right, so here is the partners page. So here's national. See if our risk have updated for everything else. Okay, so tornado risk has updated. Obviously, our categorical has changed, but waiting for these two down here, which this one's our damaging wind, and then this one's our hail. Those haven't updated quite yet. And then here's CWA, which we can, I think this is Bismarck, but this one here, yeah. So here's Bismarck, and you can take a real close look at the outlook of the moderate risk area for the different threats and the specific portions of the CWA and all that jazz. And then you can also see specific towns and all that, towns and cities, and which towns and cities are in specific threats. And then you can see the same thing if I can click on it. And you can see the same thing on state level too. Which doesn't show as many towns as the CWA, but yeah. And then here's the FEMA region, which if this decides it wants to load, that'd be great. I don't know why. Okay, loaded to FEMA region 7, not 8. Okay, there we go. So that'll show different states that are in each different region for FEMA. And then CWSU, which is I don't know what the CSW is up here. might be Minneapolis up here. Yes, Minneapolis. And then you can see different airports. And then you got your national service region, which this one shows the different national service offices. Alright, there we go, yeah. So there's your, I mean, still 45 SIG 2. But yeah, still a 45% SIG 2 for damaging winds. And I imagine our hail has it fully updated? Hold on, let me check. Okay, hail is the last thing that needs to update, but otherwise everything for the most part has updated. They still have the 5% in place, which they've shifted it more out towards here, looks like, where more tornadoes are starting to shift out towards. Back to radar. Thank you for the updates. Yeah, no problem. Just doing my part. Thumbs up. I don't know. The awkward thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Water time too. Make sure I'm not dehydrated. So got another 22 minutes on this tornado warning. Still got an area here that's still, I mean, shifted from here to here. I pretty much did a occlusion process where the meso, not once it removes itself from the main parent supercell, but the main parent supercell starts moving away from the meso. Actually, it might be the other way around. It's quite interesting process to watch. Oh, Doppler on Wheels is out there in North Dakota. I didn't know that. I knew I needed to open my door more or what? Yeah, don't mind me like the position I was sitting in right now. I have my footrest up. Check back up on this one here. I know they warned this one earlier for rotation on this one, which this one is a embedded area rotation. Although it's not because if there were to be a tornado, if this wraps up a bit more, it would be in here. But okay, it'd be up here because radar just updated. I was radar deciding, all right, we're gonna update right now. And completely change where you're looking at. Oh, there is a flash flood warning over here. I think this has been going for a little bit, actually, here. Let's see. Yeah, it's been going for about an hour with this flash flood warning. Kind of curious what this is talking about here. Between 1 and 3 inches of rainfall have fallen. We actually take a look at the storm total on radar, and this is basically estimations from radar in terms of the amount of rainfall that's fallen. And according to radar, some spots have gotten even more than 3 inches of rainfall. Alright, they have taken down that tornado warning to just radar indicated, so it's mainly just rotation now, nothing confirmed to be on the ground. Still gotta keep an eye on it, because there's been a couple areas that have, at least in this area here, that have produced and then been rotating for a little bit, and then they recycle and produce again. Which actually just had that process on this area here. So we had a tornado down here near Spokane, Missouri, and then that occluded. And then we had another little area rotation, started ramping up over near Sparta, and it produced. And now that same rotation is over here now. Watching for this right here. I don't know if it's trying to do the same thing again or what. Wouldn't be surprised at this point, considering it's recycled once. That's another severe thunderstorm warning up in North Dakota. Let's see, for ping pong size hail, it's 6 mile per hour winds. So we've been having quite the wind and hail threat up here in the Dakotas, which we're starting to see more wind reports starting to pop up here. Got a couple more. Actually, got a near. I'm guessing this. Oh no, this is exactly 70. I'm like, this either gonna be a couple of miles per hour, 1 or 2 miles per hour below 70, or exactly 70. Because sometimes it'll show 70 even though it's not exactly 70. Either way, it's still damaging winds. Yeah, more severe dust warning sign out over here. Actually, let me take a look at that. No. Okay, no, that would have been the severe dust warning for this one right here. So I'm like, because I knew there was some severe dust warnings that were being issued over here in Wyoming, but so Billings, Bismarck, City. Okay, so yeah, so this one is Billings right here with the severe thunderstorm warning, and then this one is Rapid City, and both those were warned for 7 mile per hour winds. Although Rapid City has quarter size hail, radar indicated quarter size hail on this one, and Billings did not put hail on this one. And we have a 7 mile per hour wind report all the way up here. 70, 71 mile per hour winds. 10 meter measured wind gust at North Endon, which is North Dakota's Mesonet network. Stationed at Fort North Halliday. Which actually, I don't know what the Endon site looks like for Mesonet. Because I know Oklahoma has a Mesonet site. North Dakota has a Mesonet site. There's a bunch of states that have their own like Mesonet type sites, but they all look different. Oklahoma is like the most modern looking one. So let me get that up. So here is the Endon. So this is North Dakota's Mesonet network here. I actually see some of the Mesonets over here in Minnesota, actually. And then here's Oklahoma Mesonet, which is, as you can kind of see what I was talking about, it's a little bit more modern with how it looks. Feels like 90. Yeah, that's definitely be feeling like summer in Oklahoma. Even up here in Illinois, I'd be feeling like summer too. Maximum air temp. Let me go back to radar here real quick because I can take a look at observations. Yeah, it is I'm sorry, is that's 101 over in Crowell, Texas there. I mean, I guess I'm not super surprised considering it's Texas, but woo! You might as well fry an egg on that one, man. Like, literally just put an egg on the sidewalk, fry it. Interesting. There's actually a tornado port that just popped up. Although this is tornado port, solar storm prediction center, radar confirmed tornado, trees down on road. So our trees down on the road over here looks like. Definitely keeping an eye on that area there. I've been watching this little area. I'm like, okay, this thing is definitely trying to tie it up and do something of the sorts. Whether or not a producer or not is the big question. And speaking of rotation, this thing definitely is recycling its rotation again. Because that is another tight couplet there over near Rogersville. I could not type. Holy. And as I was just talking about this potentially producing, I think we have a debris signature there. Although, I was talking about this one potentially producing, but this one, with its tight couplet, definitely is now producing a tornado here. And this is, I feel like I've lost track of the amount of tornadoes that have happened already in Missouri, but I think we're up to like 6 now, I think. 5 or 6 tornadoes that have happened. Maybe maybe a little bit high on on how high I'm counting. Maybe it's more like 4 or 5 tornadoes. And they have issued another severe thunderstorm warning. That's gonna be up in North Dakota. That's gonna be for Gulf Coast, hail, and 7-mile per hour winds. Depending the back's my wall here, which literally I think it was also last year when this was literally like the wall was literally repainted and this back wall is getting dirty again because of my feet. Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, so I'm looking at Mosaic radar, and yeah, that is definitely congealing into a little bit more of a line as it's making its way more east into North Dakota. Will be interesting to see how what that does down the line, because I mean that's going quick. I mean that is going quick. Let me go up the radar up there. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, look at all the storms. Hey, let me actually. How far ahead? How far back does this radar go? Hold on, 2 hours. I need to go to like 30 minutes. Okay, back to this. All right, so yeah, you can see here's your one line storms on here, which actually kind of has a it's not quite a bookend vortex yet, but it's probably trying to develop something of it. So because it's basically when you get a bookend vortex, it's like if you know how low pressure spin, it's basically like that. And from there, that would kind of increase the tornado threat, because typically where you find your tornado threat on MCS is the ratios. You typically find them where you have a bow. And you can see this is 840. Literally within like 10 minutes, maybe. All these are going up at once. And this is warned for 70. This is also warned for 70. Oh, this one has observed on it. All right, let me go back down here. And we are back to having also observed on this, since we just had a tornado, or still have a tornado potentially on the ground here. So once again, we have a tornado on the ground again here, which is now officially observed now. This is a tornado that has recycled from another area rotation. So we've been having areas that occlude and then recycle. So kind of interesting processes that we've been seeing here. So I think we actually are on either our fourth or fifth tornado in Missouri now. Now that I think of it. Oh, they actually didn't change. Stormbringer Center didn't change anything actually. Much of the hail threat. Oh, it's broils. Broils. The very. He's a senior meteorologist at the Storm Prediction Center. I didn't realize he was doing the next day one outlook. And looks like that tornado has lifted. I can't spell. They're slowly canceling out some of the counties from the tornado watch. It looks like still got a hour and 34 on a tornado watch, but there's a chance we'll see that. I mean, maybe we'll see the entire span of that actually. Now that I think of it, but for the most part, we'll probably see that. I mean, depending on how fast these are moving, which I mean, moving at north at 15. The tornado's moving at 15 miles per hour. It's another tornado warning. So they have extended the tornado warning. Radar indicated rotation. So we're back to radar indicated rotation again here. And that's a big tornado warning there. It's literally touching the other tornado warning. And we have a flood report, actually. Water over road. Oh, wow. Okay, we've had our first 80-mile-per-hour wind report up here, looks like. That's going to be over near... Where's that at? Regent in North Dakota. Is this more for 70 still, or is this upgraded 8? No, it's still 70. So we are starting to see our hurricane force winds are stronger than that 70 now. Strong rotation again on this. The rotation weakened, and then we have another area of strong rotation again. So watching this area here, because we do have an area that is, well, area convergence right here. I would not be surprised if this tries producing again. I mean, considering we've had multiple, once again, multiple recycles and then produce. Let me go back to 2 hours now. Now that we can actually, now that we're, for at least for now, we're done with a little bit of analysis from previous things here. Wouldn't be, we're definitely gonna be a little bit more analysis, and I think we have another area here that's kind of hooking. Although that rotation is kind of in a clear air area. Bit of tongue twist there. All right, now a tornado warning. XPX. I think that's be an extension of this one up here. Yeah, holy! Once again, big tornado warning. Oh my. Yeah, that's a chonker right there. Not the first time I've used that kind of wording before, but you know what? It works. Consider, I mean, it is a big size tornado warning. That's a, I don't know how much population. Does it even show? I don't. That would be kind of a cool feature that that Weatherfront could add, is so we can see how much population is in an area within like tornado watches, warnings, and all that kind of stuff. That would actually be pretty cool, because then you can see how many people are being impacted, and then kind of get your message out to that many people, I guess you could say. All right, still keeping an eye on that lineup in North Dakota, because I'm kind of bouncing between the tornado watch in Missouri, this is one thing that kind of happens sometimes with these kind of streams, at least with severe weather events, where you'll be bouncing from one place and then you'll be back down to another area and then vice versa. All right, let me check back up on the rotation here. I actually need to use the bathroom real quick. Be right back. All right, we back in business. All right, not as tight a couple. You still got rotation in there, but not as tight as the last scan. I wouldn't be surprised if we had. I know CC did update at that point, but we'd be surprised if we had maybe a very, very, very brief tornado there. But more of on a weaker side of things. Although that velocity couplet does not scream very weak tornado, so. Let's go back up here. All right, they have upgraded this, or actually they issued a new severe dust warning. Actually, that's before 80-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So we have a PDS severe dust storm warning. That's a damaging wind. Well, the damaging wind that we have going on right now in Dakota. It started from over here in Wyoming and all that, but our wind that's gonna start really ramping up with I guess this line here. Although we'll probably start seeing it shift once these organize a little bit more. That looks like some weird looking kidneys that I drew there. Also, this is tornado warned right now with this section here, so we're not quite in range to see the rotation because there's range holding issues. But I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if they'll issue a tornado warning on this side of things right here, but I guess we'll see once we get a little bit closer. Yeah, that rotation is much more broad than what it was earlier. Wouldn't be surprised if something's probably gonna end up trying to produce over here, but a lot of these are it's mainly wind for some of these areas. This area is we had rotation multiple times, but I think we probably at this point ran out of steam for that area there after the multitude of the multitude of why am I blanking right now? Holy, the multitude of spin ups that we had. Someone's having a crash out on Twitter with the recent with all the information that's recently came out about the earthquake. What magnitude is this damn earthquake? I see 9.0, 8.9, 8.6, 8.2, 8.0. Which is it? I don't know, man. It might be somewhere in the middle. Just take the mean average at this point, considering no one can figure out what the actual number is. Or just go to USGS and use that number. Although, I don't know what is apparently it's also Pasga as well. I'm guessing I'm not super familiar with Pasga. Oh, that's the the Philippines like atmospheric, physical, and astronomical services. I did not know that. I know. I am learning of different things with different places for well different meteorology or well, I don't know if meteorology organizations be the right terminology, but basically stuff for weather agencies and stuff like that, I guess. Pascal had 8.2 apparently. One thing I have not looked at is because usually I mean I haven't looked at the composites, but yeah, I mean you still okay. Let's go over to the meso analysis while we're at it. So here's the meso. Actually, hold on, because now there's a tornado warning up in Bismarck. Oh, not Bismarck. Tornado warning up here in North Dakota. All the way up here. Holy. Yeah, I thought I saw something up here with rotation. I'm like, wait a minute, that looks like rotation. That's gonna be over near Crosby and Noonan in North Dakota. That's all the way up here near the U.S. Canadian border. There's actually an 80-mile-per-hour wind report up here. 79-mile-per-hour wind. And that is, well, I don't know what it would have been on the, actually been in the SIG 130 area. So we have a tornado warning in North Dakota, and now, well, we got one tornado warning in North Dakota, and then we got a couple down here in Missouri. Which we had pretty much a regional outbreak of tornadoes in Missouri. How many wind? Let me take a look at the Silverton Center site with the how many wind ports we're sitting at right now. So let me look at filter because filter takes out any duplicates. So actually sitting at 3 tornado ports. Sitting at 37 wind, 3 of those being high wind reports. Got 13 hail, 5 of those being large hail. And well, we're obviously we're not quite done yet with our threat up here in Dakota. Dakotas. I say Dakotas since we got North and South Dakota that is being affected by a lot of the winter right now. Would not be surprised though to see much more wind reports come out of North Dakota at some point here. I don't know how many we'll see out of this side here, considering I mean there is mesonets in this section of North Dakota because of the end on mesonet network, but as this organizes, we're definitely gonna see. I would imagine they're probably gonna end up extending the severe dose watch to over here, probably at some point where we don't have the severe dose watch, but because our severe area does go out towards here, and they'll probably, I mean, I imagine if they do end up issuing a new severe dose watch, they'll probably drop it to just a regular severe dose watch, or at least a well, it'll be a regular severe dose watch probably, but it'll have high wind probabilities on it. That's what I'm guessing they're probably gonna end up doing. There's also a rainfall discussion or a mesoscale precipitation discussion up here in the North Dakota here. Isolation slash spotty flash flood potential exists. So there'll be some flash flooding potential ongoing with the areas that are be in the severe threat with the wind threat in North Dakota here. Which I haven't seen a flood reports yet up here, but we'll probably see something at some point. Probably, I would imagine, but definitely gotta see more. Definitely gotta see more wind. All right, we have a new severe dose warning up here too, which is gonna be for 6 mile per hour wind, and of course high sail. We still have the PDS severe dose warning for 80 mile per hour wind gusts. We have two 80 mile per hour wind reports so far. Estimated 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, dying to course size hail accompanied the very strong winds. And then there was a 82 mile per hour wind report. Wind gusts measured at the Dickinson Airport. All right, there's this new tornado warning. It's over here in Missouri again, and that is gonna be for this area rotation here. Broader, it's a broad area rotation, but it is rotating. And we still have this area near Fordland here. Actually, may that is this thing trying to recycle its rotation again? It might be trying to do exactly that actually, because this thing has done that a few times already and produced a couple times. Let's see here. Looking for. Let's see. Not that. Not that. Experimental heat risk. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Because the Weather Prediction Center put out a thing for the heat risk. So here is the heat map. Oh, the heat risk map. And go to Tuesday, which is tomorrow. They moderate over here. Although, is there a way? I feel like there should be a way I can go throughout the day. Although this was updated, this actually updated almost about an hour ago. Looks like. And then here's Wednesday. A lot more areas with a major heat risk area, and then Thursday it starts shifting off towards the East Coast here, and then down towards areas like the South here, like Texas, a lot. Which actually there's a couple areas with extreme. What does Sunday look like? Sunday there's still areas down in the same sections here between Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana that still have that major heat risk. But yeah, it's gonna be a scorcher the next couple days in some places. or it's got at least in the case of at least feeling hot out there. And although there's some, I mean, there's people out there that do like those temperatures, so it's probably it's essentially gonna feel like paradise probably for those that do like those temperatures and like the high 80s and 90s and all that. Ugh, nose. All right, so keep an eye on that. I'm gonna keep those circled. Yeah, that area of rotation near Fordland is trying to ramp back up again. Okay, I just saw a video. Um, Jackson County Road 20 in Trenton, in northern Alabama, flood. Road is flooded. Is there any reports that actually show up here or nah? Actually, those probably would have shown up way earlier. Actually, hold on one second. Let me, because you can go back like 24 hours. So I wonder if I can see any. Oh yeah, there's a couple flash flood reports from earlier. See if there's anything else. I'm trying to see what the, if anything. Okay, so there's no new flash flood reports there. Which, speaking of flash flood, they did have I think it's yeah, it was a moderate risk for flash flooding in this section of Alabama here earlier, but now they put that down to a slight now. And there's more flash flood warnings starting to pop up down here in Missouri too, with all the rainfall that has been training over some of the areas from earlier. And I imagine, I mean, actually, I don't know how many rivers there's here. If there's, because I know sometimes you get flood reporting, flash flood warnings and all that if you have rivers that are like overflowing or whatnot, which actually would just be a flood warning actually if that was the case. But or no, when it could be either or, but it just depends. I'd still keep an eye on a couple of areas here. That is, I don't know what I did there. Okay. Like flicking my mouse halfway across my desk apparently. We have another 80 mile per hour, actually 85 mile per hour wind report here, and that's over near that's in Gladstone, North Dakota. And we have a 66 mile per hour wind report. I'm just waiting for like, because I've seen a couple of wind reports from other severe weather events where they have an 88. I'm like, all right, time to go back to the future, I guess. All right, we got a 74 mile per hour wind report up here. So seeing wind reports starting to pop up here, and then of course I think our main line is probably down in this section here, and then our north because we got northern mode. Well, not really modes considering it's all linear, but we got two sections of our storm here that are going on. We got our southern side, which is our I think are gonna be our main threat for our damaging winds, and then we got this northern half, which is it's also gonna be a damaging wind threat, but I think it's probably be perhaps maybe more of a tornado threat, perhaps. We also did have another 80-mile-per-hour wind report. 84-mile-per-hour winds that was measured there. So that's still destructive winds going on. That's making its way northeast. That's gonna be going towards Halliday and Beulah and Zap in North Dakota. Make sure even though it's not a tornado warning, I would stay away from windows, considering. Not that 6-mile-per-hour wind gusts can whip debris halfway across your driveway, but or something like that, but in this case, definitely stay away from your windows and all that. Like if it is a tornado, considering damaging winds this strong can throw debris, or at least throw debris and then toss it into something like a tornado. I don't think I talked about the next day. Maybe I have, but we'll talk about it again. So here's your day one outlook, which there's your tornado risk area down here, and then your other tornado risk up here, which is 2%. Which we really haven't. One of the reasons why we really haven't seen too many tornadoes up here. There's not a lot of shear. Or at least, actually, let me take a look at meso analysis. Yeah, there's not really that strong a shear, at least at the lower levels. That's over in Wyoming there, I think. Or is that? No, that's Nebraska there with that severe dust warning. That's the for 6-mile-per-hour wind square size hail. Wow. Okay, this one's really okay. We have a tornado on the ground here. A few miles west of Ava in Missouri here. Now, this looks like to be a strong one too, just based on the velocity couplet, and then looking at the debris center shows a deep, deep blue there. You want to about 10 miles west of Ava, Missouri. This looks like a. Oh wait, they did go observe with this too. So we have a confirmed tornado on the ground again here in Missouri. And that looks to be a pretty decently strong tornado too. You can even see like a little bit of its debris signature actually even on a previous scan too. And the latest scan, which is at 8:53, so 3 minutes ago, uh, deep debris signature there. And you can even see the hook on this thing too, actually. Let me switch to Let me turn off my there we go. And then we can take a look at, let me go to velocities on this one and CC on this one. So then we can see on the next couple scans here what this looks like with the next couple scans, because we once again we have a tornado that is on the ground, make its way northeast, be going towards. Okay, so okay, there's the name on these roads. There's just really small text. Okay, that's great. I could probably actually increase the size of that road label size. How big can I make the road label sizes? Yeah, okay, that's a little bit better. Not by much though, because it doesn't show the whole name. But oh well. I mean, it'll show the names if I zoom in with these roads here, but it won't show the one I'm trying to look at here, which County Road AK541. All right, the latest scan just came in. Yeah, solid got a tornado on the ground here. Definitely, if we do have a tornado on the ground here, I would not be surprised if it is at least in the case that it is a strong tornado potentially here. And yeah, well, the scan did just come in like a moment ago, so waiting about 4 minutes between the scans there, so probably gotta wait. I mean, it's 8:59 now, so probably gotta wait a couple minutes, another couple minutes here before the next one to come in. Creaky chair. It did probably didn't pick up on OBS because I have a compressor and expander on OBS, so probably didn't pick it up. If I took those off, you'd probably be able to hear it, but so waiting probably got probably another minute or so till the next game comes in. I also got a new severe dust warning up in North Dakota, 7 mile per hour wind gusts and core size hail. Alright, velocities have updated. CC still wing on that. Still got, I mean, there's still got a area that's rotating here. Just waiting on CC to see if this, if we still have a deep debris center on the ground or not. Because then, we'll see what our tornado, at least where our tornado is. Well, the tornado is going northeast, but we'll see what the debris center looks like in a second here, if it's still on the ground or not. All right, latest scan just came in. Not as deep of a debris signature, but still looks like we have a tornado still on the ground here as of the last couple minutes. All right, new mesoscale discussion just came out as well. So here's the new mesoscale discussion. This is well, they still have the peak intensity 75 to 90. I would not be surprised if we have something stronger than 90. I mean, we haven't seen anything stronger than 90 yet, but once this organizes a little bit more, then I mean, it's go time now, but it'll be like go time once that once he's organized a little bit more into a more of an organized line than what we're seeing right now. Okay, let me go back to radar real quick here. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground in North Dakota now too. Looks like that's gonna be all the way up here. Holy, that's actually on the cells that were actually where's this? Was this in cells in the? Yeah, no, this is no, this is still the storms that are in North Dakota. This is gonna be crossing over into Canada in a moment here too. So actually, how long did they put this tornado warning for? 25 minutes. So we have a confirmed tornado on the ground in North Dakota and then one in Missouri. So we have two tornadoes in two different states that are on the ground right now. Although this, I can't imagine this tornado warning lasting too much longer, since whatever tornado is on the ground right now in North Dakota is gonna be crossing into the Canada side of things here in a second. Is it okay? Let's see. Law enforcement confirmed tornadoes. I'm like, is this gonna be this either? I can't imagine it being right or confirmed because considering there wasn't really anything on CC there. Oh, check back up on our tornado on this here. Radar did update a moment ago, and we still have a bit of debris here on the ground with whatever tornado still there. Not as once again, not as deep of a debris signature, but there is still a tornado. And I think we're starting to see a ramp up down here with rotation out too. Because that's an inflow notch here, and then you got your velocity signature there. And looking at the velocity on this one, yeah, you still got strong velocity, well, strong like strong reds on this side. Not as strong greens on this side, but still throwing on the ground there. All right, new tornado warning. That's gonna be up. Is that gonna be extension? It might be extension. Let's see. Yeah, that's gonna be extension. So yeah, now the areas that were in this tornado warning are now in another tornado warning now here in Missouri. And we have another area here that's rotating here. This little notch. Yeah, once again, regional outbreak there in Missouri. In terms of at least in terms of the tornado threat, not so much of the terms of the wind threat. Because there is a wind threat down there. It's just isolated wind threat. No hail down here though. Alright, latest scan just came in for reflectivity. What about velocity? CC has not come in, so only reflectivity is updated right now. So we're waiting for CC and velocities to update for those. New severe dust warning that's to be in South Dakota. We got a lot of updates on from Weatherwise again. Alright. Turn that to 60% volume. With my monitor, well, my volume on my laptop to 60%. All right, latest scan did just come in. Not seeing that rotation I saw earlier. I mean, there still is a notch in here, but not as much as, well, and there's still a notch in here too, but not as tight of a rotation still as the one here. That, looking at the latest scans too, that was a deep debris signature. I would not be surprised if we had a sig tour that happened there. How many 20 warnings we're saying right now besides the ones in Canada? So there's one, two, three in Canada. So that means we're saying at 5 in the US here. New tornadoes are running up in North Dakota, 7-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and quarter-size hail. So waiting for next scan to come in here. I think they condensed the tornado warning a little bit. I think. Let me see. Well, at least I thought they did. All right, looking at latest CC, still a little bit of something there. Rotation is definitely broadened out a little bit more compared to the last scan. Watching this area here near Seymour. Got wind damage reports actually up here, looks like. Storm report, QLCS possible tornado. A Muke or two to my southeast farmstead, damage from wind possible tornado. And then possible QLCS tornado, damage outbuilding and farmstead, knock down power lines, check down residents, no injuries. There we go. Yeah, so they just issued a tornado warning now for the the storm that was tornado warning down here in North Dakota. That's now up at is going into Canada or has gone into Canada now. Oh, I need to sneeze. Hold on a second. All right, we're good now. Whew. And I'm watching this another area near Conway as well. So I got a couple areas here in Missouri that are concerns for tornadoes here, or at least rotation. Another mesoscale discussion is coming out. Let's see. That's gonna be concerning the storms going on in Nebraska, portions of western Nebraska, and far northeastern Colorado. Now our spirit direction warning has to be up in North Dakota. A couple of them actually, which are gonna be for 7 mile per hour winds. Yeah, you can see this long line of just severe direction warnings for 7 mile per hour winds. So far, we haven't seen too much in terms of wind reports on this section here, surprisingly. I've seen a lot more out of this section on the south side of it. Sorry, tree debris from EF0 tornado was visible along Farm Road 1. Did they already rate the Did they already do damage surveys? Hold on. Hold on, what? Alright, new mesoskill discussion is fully out now. Few severe gusts and perhaps some large hail may occur this evening. Watch is not likely. Check Discord while I'm at it. So we've had 4 wind reports that are in 80 mile per hour winds in our SIG 2. Haven't seen it so far. Still haven't seen anything stronger than that in terms of winds, but one thing it's still a matter of time before they start ramping up again here. Like literally, look at the wind. You can actually see a gust front here in front of this. So it'll be interesting to see what that does, because that can stabilize the atmosphere ahead of the storms. Alright, we have a new tornado warning that's to be down here in Missouri. That's to be in the same area that we have the confirmed tornado warning in. So they're probably reissuing for the same area, considering we have a couple areas that are rotating here. Or at least similar areas here. So yeah, it's going to be radar indicated, so they're going to be allowing this tornado warning to expire out soon at some point. There is no tornado on the ground anymore. We don't have as tight rotation at this point. Continue to stay places as you're still in a tornado warning. I got another new tornado warning. That's also in Missouri. Does make me wonder what they're gonna do, because I mean they did extend the tornado threat a little bit out. So I do wonder if they're gonna extend out the tornado watch or not. And there's 37 minutes on this tornado watch, so I guess we'll see what happens as well on that. Because I can imagine they're probably gonna do something with the tornado watch. Yeah, so there's your new tornado, which includes Grove Spring, Missouri. That's be going for 51 minutes. Holy giant tornado warning. Wonder what the situation looks like up here. Yeah, we got the same thing going on where we have a outflow starting to shoot out from the storms here. So this entire line is starting to shoot out its outflow. Or almost the entire line, I should say, but yeah, it started to I mean when it starts doing that, it's probably starting to lose some steam probably. Alright, new severe dust warning has to be over in Nebraska again. See for semi-power winds and half dollar size hail. Yeah, there's almost like I mean there's a bunch of surfaced 1 kilometer shear, but there's barely any surface of 6 or 3 kilometer shear. And you need shear at the higher levels in order for storms to keep themselves organized. So this may end up eventually becoming the case where we're not going to be seeing. Well, we're still going to be seeing a wind threat, but the wind threat's probably going to start dying down more eventually up here. Just a matter of when, to be honest. Tornado Paste on this severe dust warning here. Which, if there is rotation, it's going to be embedded in the rain, likely. Alright, we got a couple of tornado warnings. Actually, we've got just one tornado warning spiral with the next 2 minutes here that still has the observe tag on it. Alright, you got another severe dust warning. That's going to be for 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. They'll show up in a second. But where it is at, it's going to be in this. Let me see. So this section here. Yeah, there we go. There's the 80-mile-per-hour wind. Severe dust warning there. Radar indicated. So it's another PDS severe dust storm warning. Stay away from windows. A little bit more broad on the rotation here. Still looking, actually, two areas that are rotating, I think, here. Actually, this one's going to be in the clear air. Clear air, so that's not rotation. This is, though. And we no longer have that confirmed tornado warning now. So we're back to having tornado warning, just regular tornado warnings now. I'm curious what the radar's getting here. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Because I'm so used to Radar Mega where it's this bright and it's like 70 or 80. But obviously that's not the case here with the winds. Yeah, you can see that gust front. Winter storms are trying to like catch up to that, but honestly I think the southern mode's gonna start deteriorating. And that northern mode, same thing. So at this point, once again, it's just a matter of seeing what's gonna happen, whether or not we see a continuation of. Because I don't think we're really gonna see a derecho out of this at this point. If it's starting to do that, I don't think we're gonna see a derecho. This is more or less like a just an MCS, which I mean MCS. I mean, in order to get a derecho, you need an MCS, but in this case, it's definitely not gonna be a derecho because you need damaging wind reports for I think if I'm correctly, the new criteria is 400 miles or something like that. Ugh. And there's the two 80-mile-per-hour wind reports. 85-mile-per-hour wind report here, and then the one near Hazen, which was 76. And that was also being inside the 45% with SIG 2. Ugh. Just how I'm sitting here. Alright, so I got, well, is everything expiring in 23 minutes? Or mostly everything? This one's being allowed to expire out. This one's expiring in 38, 23. The 20 watch itself is expiring out in 23 minutes. But did I add this to the I don't know if I added I did. Okay. I'm like, did I add this to the live broadcast playlist? Because usually I add my because I add videos, live streams, I'll add to my playlist so they're in a place so I if anybody wants to go back and I mean not that you can go to the main YouTube page and go and find them, but kind of just make it a little bit easier and have a playlist for people to kind of go through and look at and stuff like that. Also, looking at weather-wise, Brand, a couple of the storm chasers are back, and Brand Kopic and Freddie McKinney are back in the U.S. Looks like. Oh wow, there was a 90-mile-per-hour wind report. That's near Pick City, Mercer. And then here's another severe dust warning as warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds, which I'm not surprised. which I mean, here's your winds, which are this area here, this section, big old section here, and you have your outflow starting to shoot out from it, and that's gonna be stabilizing the environment ahead of it. So we're probably not gonna be seeing as strong wind gusts from that. You can actually see a lot more. I mean, not that you couldn't see a bunch of reports on Weatherfront, but otherwise has a lot more reports that you can see. Wow. Okay, there was a 80 mile, almost 80 mile per hour wind report down here, almost half hour ago. I think did I look at that earlier? I don't remember if I did or not. But that's a strong wind gust down there. But yeah, here is the outlook, and here's where our high wind reports here, at least in terms of anything over 80, have occurred here in North Dakota. So we have a couple spots in there. And that's once again, that is in our 45% SIG 2. And then there's the same report that you can see on Weatherfront there. 90 mile per hour wind report from the end on observation. Wouldn't be surprised if I don't know if they're gonna upgrade this again because of that report, but they have condensed this. There might be a line. No, they just condensed it. They're still continuing as a 60 mile per hour wind report. Wind report. 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Severe industrial warning. And then looking at this, yeah, you got a big old blob here of strong winds in this section here. At least with this portion of our MCS, or well, squall line at this point right now, but so I got 3 minutes on this tornado warning down here. Like trying to like clicking on the warning and add the radar down here so I can actually look at it. So far, nothing. I mean, we did have a mesoscale discussion 25 minutes ago from Storm Prediction Center, but that was with the storm in Nebraska going on right now. Nothing on any of the threat down here in Missouri or well, we had one 39 minutes ago on the one in North Dakota, but nothing in terms of new for those two areas that we've been kind of jumping between here. Alright, that's one 21 units gone here, so they're allowing this one to expire out, so they canceled one. They haven't canceled out this one yet, though. That's still going for another 15 minutes. They cancel out. Oh, actually, never mind. I was about to say they canceled out that one, but no, this, the one up here was the one that expired out. This one's still going, though. Same length as the tornado watch. Let me get rid of that. All right, haven't speak English, me. I got another wind report, 82 mile per hour wind report there over near White Shield in North Dakota. I'm guessing that yeah, I think they're straight up just letting the tornado warning expire at the same time as the tornado watch. Oh. Surprised we haven't seen any. Oh, I was about to say have ah, surprised we haven't seen a severe dose warning get extended yet up here. At least for this line. Yeah, so both those are expiring at the same time with the tornado watch and tornado warning in Missouri. All right, so they have issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. They have extended the severe thunderstorm warning up here. So that's still continuing as a damaging wind threat. That's actually upgraded now from 60 to going to 70 now. So imagine, I know I mentioned this earlier, but imagine they're probably discussing the extension of out east for the severe thunderstorm watch. That's what I'm guessing. So far at this point, we're probably gonna be focusing more up here with the wind threat compared to the tornado threat down in Missouri now. Maybe a little bit of rotation in there. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back, and our tornado watch has been canceled out, and our tornado warning is expiring out in the next minute here. So once that fully expires out, we'll be good to go on the tornado threat side of things. Also, the severe thunderstorm warning in North Dakota has been upgraded to a 90-mile-per-hour wind gust. Observed 90-mile-per-hour wind report. I think that's probably more recent, I would imagine. Located 8 miles south next. Let's see. Northwest of Garrison, so wait. 13 Mesonet, 13 northwest of Garrison, reported 93. So we're looking northwest for that 90-mile-per-hour wind report once it fully loads in. Actually, probably looking at it on here if it's on here. There it is. Yeah. So here's the 86-mile-per-hour wind report here. Although it said 90 on here, or 93-mile-per-hour wind gust. All right, we know I have that tornado warning in place now as well. Hopefully PDS severe thunderstorm. So now because we have a PDS severe, we've had a PDS severe thunderstorm going on for a while, or more specifically at this point, it is a EDS or an extremely dangerous situation. At this, I mean, considering how strong these wind gusts have been, you are definitely gonna want to be in a away from windows. Treat it as almost as if this is a tornado warning, essentially. Except it's obviously not a tornado warning; it's a severe thunderstorm warning. Wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more wind reports that haven't been reported yet start getting posted to here. Because, I mean, we've had wind start from all the way down here, and then it's been going on all the way up here. So, let me actually see how far that... Is there a measurement tool? There should be a measurement tool on here. I don't know where it's at, though. This cross-section... I thought there was a measurement tool on here. I don't know where it's at, though. Oh, wait, it's over here. So, I don't know, we'll go from here to, like, over here. I mean, from one spot to another, that's about 429 miles, but I don't know, because there's this spot here. There's not many wind reports, so I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess, in the next, if they do end up verifying this as a, derecho or not. I doubt it'll be a derecho, but we'll see. And I think we have a bit of a bookend vortex trying to maybe form in here, but let me take a look. And there's your 93-mile-per-hour wind report there. That was the reason for the severe thunderstorm warning, the PDS severe thunderstorm warning, or EDS severe thunderstorm warning. And then there's your other severe thunderstorm warning, which is for 7-mile-per-hour winds. We actually had a tornado pour, actually. Estimated location, a white rope tornado came down. It was underground for about 3 minutes, kicking up dust. So we had actually a brief tornado, it looks like. I'm kind of curious. Let me go back a little bit here. What time was this again? Let's see. If I can click on the tornado report. 9:37, so we gotta go back a lot. I mean, it doesn't really show a lot on CC, so it probably, I mean, it was kicking up dust, but probably wasn't enough to show on the CC. And they also did upgrade this to a 70. This was 60 at one point, but not to 70. So even with the outflow that this shot out, it's still producing damaging winds. I'm curious what this looks like in Storm Relative. Can't imagine it's super high in Storm Relative. Yeah, it's not super high on Storm Relative. New radar showing us down in Nebraska. See for 60 mile per hour winds. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to form a bookend vortex there. So things could get a bit hairy soon here. I mean, we're already seeing strong wind gusts coming out of this already, but take a look at tomorrow's threat, which we have a slight risk. That's gonna be between Nebraska, Colorado, and Wyoming. Which the main threats are gonna be wind and hail. Mainly hail though, with the large hail threat. There is an isolated tornado threat. Day three, there is, which day three almost went moderate, but they kept it as a Sig 1 due to some uncertainties, if I can speak English. And then there is a 30%, which is a equivalent to enhanced risk on Wednesday, and then a severe threat again on Thursday, which 15%. It'll be interesting to see what Thursday brings, because this is gonna be the first time in a while that I've been under a directly under a severe threat here. Don't know what the don't know. I mean, I don't know what days I'll be alive. Wednesday I'll probably be alive. Tomorrow, well, tomorrow no, I won't be live. Tuesday I might not be able to go live. Maybe evening hours, but we'll see. Uh, Wednesday I'll probably be live, and Thursday I don't know what that'll look like for a severe threat on Thursday, but when he'll probably be the main threats. I don't know what our tornado threat will look like, but I can imagine just considering that we've had significant severe weather today, and then we'll have more Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know. I feel like there's probably gonna be something significant here on Thursday. We'll see. That all depends though on well, I guess what our storm mode's gotta look like, and then all that. Our if Northern Illinois pulls a typical Northern Illinois where it's cloudy all day, and then the environment does nothing, because that's how it goes with severe weather stuff here in Illinois, and especially Northern Illinois. And a heavy shoot, another severe dust warning. That's for 80-mile-per-hour winds. As another EDS/PDS severe dust warning there. This will be going for an hour and 2 minutes. Alright, have we got anything from the Storm Projection Center at all? Nope, we have not. Alright, still waiting to see, because, I mean, this is eventually going to make its way out of the PDS Severe Dust Watch here, so I don't know what they're going to do next in terms of a Severe Dust Watch, because they haven't released anything about it. If they're, well, I imagine they'd be discussing anything in terms of a watch, but it's just a matter of when. I'm exhausted, man. It's seriously been a long weekend for me, man. And the fact that I think definitely a good wind gust going into midnight there in North Dakota. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a wind pour out of there soon at some point. this outflow right here. There is a new discussion from the Weather Prediction Center. Take a look at that. Short-term flash flooding expected with locally significant impacts over the next few hours. And that is in Missouri there. Well, okay. That's a 98-mile-per-hour wind report there. 98-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 10 miles, 10 meter and on 13 miles northwest Garrison there. Holy. That is a wind gust and a half, man. Holy. That is seriously, I mean, that was to be expected with our severe threat today, but man. As gusty. All right, so far nothing new in terms of wind reports, but I mean we definitely have had some strong wind gusts come out of this. And there was a 70 mile per hour wind report over in Bismarck. Although let's see if specifically 68, but near 70 mile per hour wind gusts there in Bismarck. Still the PDS severe decimal watch. It looks like. This originally was going till 11 o'clock, but it looks like they extended it. Yeah, now in fact till 1 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and they've probably added more counties too because these are now in there as well. Let me update my tally real quick because I forgot to take out the Missouri tornado warning for the past like 20 minutes. Ow, my shoulder. nose is itching. Checking a couple things while I'm at it. So far, I mean, I wish there was a thing which showed like, I mean, storm force pop up on here. I wish there was a thing that showed like the latest like storm for or something of sorts. Oh, that's one thing I just remembered. Where is it at? Storm spotters, animated positions. You can actually look at the animated positions of storm spotter. Let's go to I don't know, like 6 hours. Holy convergence in Canada. I know there was storm chasers. I know that there was a bunch of storm chasers and all that up in Canada, but wow. Oh, that's a lot of them. And then you can see some of the storm chasers from Canada going down to Canada to chase the MCS down here. So funny to watch. It's like ants on a like ant farm or something. Just watching all the dots move. What else is there? I know there's a bunch of stuff. There's metars. I wish there was a way to have both two things at once on. Oh wait, there is. Uh oh, it's not exactly what I'm looking for though. With playing both two temperature and dew point the same thing. Actually, no. Station plat. Ah, there we go. Yeah, there. That's much better. That's what I was kind of been looking for. Single site smoothing, which is I think that smooths out the reflectivity, I think. Yeah. And then there's also satellite, which I need to get out of this. So here's satellite, which I will say I feel like it's a lot more accessible than not that Radar Mega isn't accessible, but it just feels easier to use unlike Radar Mega. Although I like that Radar Mega does specific like uh, actually I don't know, does Radar Mega, I don't know if Radar Mega specifically does it where they put like a I forgot what it's called. No. Mesoscale floater. There we go. I had to go over to College page to name for that. And then yeah, you could look at the satellite, man. It's absolutely just amazing. And a lot of this is a part of well, the premium subscription for Weatherfront, which kind of sucks, but oh well. I don't know what broke. Oh, that's what broke. And not broke, but the timeline was so far back. That's why. I was like, why is it so far back, or why is radar not working? But no, it's like right in front of my face. You even see the system all the way up here. You can actually okay, now you can actually see the vortex up here compared to not down here. So the vortex is all the way up here in Canada. The bookend vortex all the way up in Canada. Hungry again. Man, late night hungies. Look at that. I mean, I know this is going for a while, but man, it's going for a while with that EDS reduction warning, man. Got a bit of a wind that's starting to develop down here too. It looks like. Oh, I hit reading mode. That F9 is reading mode on Firefox. What? And Twitter roll. Nice. Packaging. We'll go back down to 2 hours instead of having the 6 hours on. I swear, I keep going to the the convective outlook because I'm just mesmerized by the colors on, like how the colors are on Weatherfront. I don't know why. Like here's what Weatherfront looks like, and then here is what the weatherwise looks like. Hey, let me turn off the weather reports. So I mean they're very similar, although Weatherfront has bigger dashes and whatnot. It seems like, or like I don't know what they call it. I mean they're very similar. I mean they're about the same, but I don't know. The dashes, the stipples are a little bit different. A new severe destroying the first 7 mile per winds and small hail. And I think that's is that gonna be on the southern side of this, or is it gonna be on the northern side? No, it's gonna be on the northern side of this. Yeah, there it is. One big giant, almost like tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning. I got a wind report here, from 20 minutes ago. 79 mile per hour wind report there. So I think this. I mean, there's some spots that are kind of just falling apart for the most part with these, but that gust front is still packing a punch with the winds. Sitting at 12 high wind reports and 61 wind reports. 5 tornado reports apparently, although one in Wyoming and the others in one in Arkansas actually, and the other two are over in Missouri. There's one in North Dakota. My nose. That is seriously one giant severe dust warning, man. Holy. All right, they dropped that down to 60 mile per hour winds. It looks like now at the that severe dust warning. So we no longer have a PDS severe dust warning, and we have mainly. I mean, we're still. I mean, we still can get. I mean, we literally, as you can see from this wind report, almost like 80 mile per hour winds and whatnot. Still. Oh, seriously, what is the amount of noises I've been making today, man? All right, well, I gotta be up early tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll. I don't know when I'll be live. Probably be live on Wednesday, more than likely, and I don't know about Thursday, but more than likely Wednesday I'll be live next. We'll have to see on Tuesday what happens then, because what's gotta change or not, if anything changes due to because the thing I'm doing with volunteering. We'll see what the heat and all that does, and if there's any storms that end up, if anything ends up getting canceled out or not. But we'll see. But yeah, Wednesday is gonna be the more likely one of the more likely days I end up being live this week, and potentially Thursday. But we'll have to see on that. Anyways, have both ways to get alerts. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in probably Wednesday.